Cohesive response. This editorial critiques Pakistan's reactive approach to terrorism, urging proactive political solutions. With a long history of terrorist attacks in the country, it is a pity that, instead of taking steps to preempt, or at least minimize them, the government begins to calibrate some kind of a response only after the event. Preempt means to act beforehand to prevent something. Minimize means to reduce to the smallest possible level. Calibrate means to adjust or fine-tune carefully. This sentence introduces the central critique that Pakistan's government reacts to terrorism rather than prevents it, setting a regretful tone. A day after the terrorist hijacking of the Jafar Express ended, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif headed to Quetta on Wednesday to take stock of matters, while the Foreign Office shared details of external involvement in the incident. Take stock is an idiomatic expression meaning to assess or review a situation. This sentence highlights the PM's delayed visit post-crisis and the FO's claims of foreign meddling. Mr. Sharif reiterated the need for national unity at this time of crisis and acknowledged that the lack of development in Balochistan was an obstacle to eliminating terrorism. Reiterated means to repeat or restate for emphasis. Obstacle means a barrier or hindrance. This sentence notes the PM's call for unity and his admission that underdevelopment fuels terrorism. The FO, meanwhile, reaffirmed the military's earlier assertion that the train hijacking had been coordinated from Afghanistan, while adding that India is sponsoring terrorism in Pakistan. Reaffirmed means to confirm or strongly support again. Assertion means a confident statement or claim. Sponsoring means to support or fund, often covertly. This sentence details the Foreign Office's accusations against Afghanistan and India for backing the attack. The state needs to make it amply clear to foreign actors seeking to harm Pakistan that their efforts will be thwarted. Amply means fully or sufficiently. Thwarted means to prevent or block successfully. This sentence urges Pakistan to send a strong message to hostile foreign entities. Earlier, the government had repeatedly been raising concerns about the Afghan Taliban's lack of action regarding TTP sanctuaries in Afghanistan. Here to raising concerns is a phrasal verb meaning to express worries or objections. Sanctuaries means safe havens or refuges. This sentence recalls Pakistan's ongoing complaints about Afghan inaction against TTP hideouts. Now it must strongly take up the issue of BLA terrorists being allowed to entrench themselves across the border and plan attacks on Pakistan. Take up is a phrasal verb meaning to address or tackle seriously. Entrench means to establish firmly, often defensively. This sentence demands Pakistan confront the BLA's foothold in Afghanistan. The Taliban should know that unless action is taken against all anti-Pakistan terrorists on Afghan soil, bilateral ties will not improve. Bilateral means involving two parties or nations. This sentence warns the Taliban that relations hinge on cracking down on terrorists. Similarly, Indian involvement in stirring trouble in Balochistan is not unknown. Stirring trouble is an idiomatic expression meaning to provoke or incite problems. This sentence points to India's known role in destabilizing Balochistan. The Kulbhushan Jadhav episode and the dossier that Pakistan handed to the UN detailing India's malign activities should not be forgotten. Episode means a significant event or incident. Dossier means a collection of documents or evidence. Malign means harmful or evil in intent. This sentence references past evidence of India's interference, urging it not be ignored. It is regrettable that India has yet to learn to live like a responsible neighbor and refrain from attempts to destabilize regional states. Refrain means to hold back or abstain from doing something. Destabilize means to upset or undermine stability. This sentence laments India's failure to act as a peaceful neighbor. The PM must follow up his visit with action. Follow up is a phrasal verb meaning to pursue or act further on something. This sentence insists the PM's trip must lead to tangible steps, not just words. His mention of development is important, but along with kinetic measures, a national reconciliation effort to bring Balochistan in from the cold is required, an effort which should be led by Parliament in particular, and the political class in general. Kinetic measures is a technical term meaning military or forceful actions. Bring in from the cold is an idiomatic expression meaning to include or reintegrate someone excluded. Reconciliation means the restoration of harmony or unity. This sentence stresses that beyond force, a political effort led by Parliament is vital. While there is a visible security angle to the Balochistan crisis, at its heart it is a political problem which needs a political solution. Angle means a perspective or aspect. This sentence argues that Balochistan's crisis is fundamentally political, not just security-driven. Of course, there can be no justification for terrorism, and Pakistan's territorial integrity is a red line. Red line is an idiomatic expression meaning a non-negotiable limit or boundary. This sentence asserts that terrorism is indefensible and sovereignty is non-negotiable. But a solely militarized response has failed to deliver, which is why counterterrorism efforts must be complemented by political outreach in Balochistan. Deliver means to produce results. Complemented means to enhance or pair effectively with. Outreach means efforts to connect or engage. This sentence critiques the failure of military-only tactics, advocating political engagement. Nationalists who believe in working within constitutional parameters must be allowed to spearhead the political process in the province, while lawmakers from across the country must stand in solidarity with Balochistan and its people, pledging that they will be given the security, development, and rights that all Pakistanis should have. Spearhead means to lead or initiate boldly. Stand in solidarity is a phrasal verb meaning to unite and support. Pledging means to promise or commit formally. This sentence calls for nationalists to lead and lawmakers to back Balochistan's rights. Several Balochistan packages have been launched previously. Packages means bundled initiatives or plans, often economic or developmental. This sentence recalls past efforts to address Balochistan's issues. This time, the state and politicians must move beyond cliches and pursue a lasting solution. Move beyond is a phrasal verb meaning to progress past something. Cliches means overused, empty phrases. This sentence demands a fresh, effective approach over tired rhetoric. Published in Dawn, March 14, 2025.